Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, where's everyone else? Huh.
I don't know. It's almost like it's one of those things where I almost want to hit this button over here.
Calling all retro gamers.
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all retro gamers!
Whoa!
but
what happened?
but no, it's actually it's this one.
RTFC.baconicecream.com.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Evercast, your weekly dose of Evercade goodness. I'm one of two hosts today, Rich from Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC. To my left is Ed, Frederick KillDashNine. What's going on?
Hey, it's like we switched universes for a second.
I know. We channel hopped just for a second.
Yeah. It's like the YouTubes knew us, and they're like, no, you can't do Evercast. No, it's just you two. You need the other two.
Yeah, do the other one. So anyway, I'm repping our boy Pete, the EverCanadian today. He's I don't know, what is he, like on vacation or?
Yes.
No, he said he wasn't going to be here. I listened to the Evercast last week. Just yesterday I watched it again. Just kind of keep up with what you guys were talking about and everything. So he was out, and then apparently Crow is also on the road, like literally in a car or something, moving as this is all happening. So that's pretty cool. So we wish them all the best, and hopefully they'll be having fun with whatever they're doing. Maybe Crow's going to like a one of those pinball conventions or something like that. I heard that there's a couple shows actually. As we get into the whole intro thing here, there's a couple of things going on. I think this weekend is, if I'm not mistaken, it's either this weekend or next weekend is Long Island Retro Expo 2022. Nice. So that's pretty cool. I've been hearing some murmurs in my Twitter feeds from various retro peoples that they're going to that. I wish I could, but I'm too busy for the next couple weekends over at the house. Let's kick it off and say hi to the chat a little bit.
Chat's exploding.
This was massive chat. It's awesome. Tales from the Jundland Waste. What's going on? Dan Ruff. What's going on? Damn Gam. What's going on? Ian Hobby saying hi. Anthony P. What's going on? Good morning. Ballistic Coffee Boys in the house. RMGB TV is also in the house. I don't know who that Bacon Ice Cream Productions guy is, but what's going on? William Benz, Jason Shires, what's going on? Crimson Cross is in here. Snake Eater 75 should be checking his mailbox very soon. But thank you and hello. I think we did get. Yep, we got Dan Roth. We got John Snyderman's in here. Robert G. Murdoch, what's going on? And DJ, what's up? It is a hopping chat today. We thank every one of you for coming in and hanging out with us. We got some cool news to talk about today. But first, how was your week, Ed? How's it going on?
Good, busy, and I discovered something awesome. I discovered YouTube Shorts. I mean, I knew about it.
You've been having fun with that a little.
Yes. It's crazy. It's you can pick music and all that. So just so y'all know, so on my main channel, Evercade Effect, that's going to be more Evercade related ones. I've done a couple, and then on me and Rich's secondary channel, calling on retro gamers, that one is just like anything video game related, even just like weirder.
Yeah, there's some randomness happening in that shorts channel on a card, but yeah, no, it's really fun. It's definitely fun. Those little videos that are happening in there. I tried one once, but then I did it wrong. I was like, I just got to record a 15-second video and then just upload it, and then it's when it is a video, and I'm like, no, I wanted that to be a short. But apparently you can only do shorts like inside of the app.
Yeah, from your phone.
Inside, you have to have it on your YouTube app on your phone, using the plus button, using the shorts link, and then like go through their world to put your stuff together.
But you can import clips though, which is nice, so you don't have to do the whole thing.
Yeah,
like live and all that. So yeah,
that's
just
true.
trying to
That's
just trying to be crazy, trying to be weird, spreading the word of Evercade. Maybe people click through and is like, "What's this guy doing? What's he playing?"
Yeah, what the heck is an Evercade?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's really cool. It's very cool.
Exactly. And just so you all know, if you see something like one of my videos where I had my the handheld in the backyard, it's my non-working one. So no Evercades are harmed in the filming of any of the.
I missed that one. We got.
Yeah. I forgot like a long time ago. When we moved my house 15 years ago, there's just like it's kind of like plastic like Buddha statue like in the backyard, and I just put the Evercade sitting on there. But I would never do that to my purple or my other white one. So it's the that other one. I can't point, but it's the other one back there. So if you do see the white one, it's the one where the left button isn't working. And
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But hey, I was gonna say, speaking of videos and things.
Oh, I saw it.
I think this is what. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe more stuff like this will end up on there. It's a good time to go refill your coffee. Yeah, I gotta make more.
That was the long one. That was good.
Some of those might end up on shorts, but yeah.
Yeah. So Anthony P says it's just in an arcade club in Bury. Where is that, Anthony P? Where around is that? That's kind of cool that there is an arcade club.
Oh, nice.
Anywhere,
dude.
It's very cool. Yeah, very cool. Ballistic Coffee Boy saying got the latest VS cards through Songbird. Yeah, Gallico and Jellico. Yeah, those are pretty good cards. Got those hanging out right over here. I've yet to fully dig into the experiences they're in. Oh, this is good with Gallico. Jellico's over there.
Dude, but you need to. But so what's interesting is P47 or Phantom 47. I had to look up because like that game doesn't actually have like an ending kind of spoiler. Like when you beat the last boss, it loops and it starts over. Because I was like, wait a second, and then I went to a long play, and sure enough, it does.
Got it.
That's kind of weird. And actually, that one I got to play for I got like an hour. It's a little bit repetitive, but that one's pretty cool. But yeah, you gotta check that out, man. There's like so much goodness. And Earth Defense Force is actually like a lot more enjoyable. Not just because of the unlimited quarters, but because they didn't change it like the Super Nintendo version.
Got it. That's cool. So over on my side, there wasn't a lot going on over here this week because man, it is just absolutely getting crushed in the world of Rich right now. But that's okay because shortly I will clear all of the craziness and we'll have some more stuff. I got an idea for actually this week coming up, which will lead me into my tease for stuff going on the channel in just a bit. I'm thinking about doing a system takeover for next week, where all of the videos that come out, I'm just going to break the trend instead of having the systems on each day. This particular week, I'm just going to focus on one system because I'm trying to catch up. This particular system hasn't had a whole lot of games come out for it in a little bit, and now all of a sudden, boom, there's all sorts of stuff. So I'm thinking about maybe doing that. But speaking of teasing things, anyone in the chat, you're probably not going to want to miss to next week's Evercast. That is on the 20th of August. Want to catch this early for people that listen in. You definitely want to be there because we're going to be pulling the 900 sub thank you giveaway member from the chat of the Evercast next week. And the prize is going to be something that's pretty cool. So definitely be there for that on next week's Evercast. Like I said, the 20th of August. All right. So there was a little bit of a news drop that happened via email. And
you didn't get.
that I still didn't get, which is weird. And actually, somebody else commented on I think was it Crimson? Somebody else commented on the video that they didn't get it either, which was weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I guess we got to check our spam filters, or like, I don't know. Some Gmail just didn't like, Blaze or something. I don't know what happened, but we got an email, and that email told us a whole bunch of really cool things. So if you guys didn't get the email yet and you haven't heard about any of this stuff that related to the Evercade EXP, don't worry, because we're going to go over it right now for you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and share the screen.
Bring up the blog.
I'm going to bring up oh yeah, I could have bring up the blog post actually, because this probably looks better than my email.
But see, that's what's great about like the Discord is like if you miss stuff like that, you can go to their you can go to the Evercade Discord, you can go to the Twitter feed.
Yeah, so when I went to I saw their first email, they didn't actually have it on the blog yet. So
check your spam.
So is this? But wait, did they just have the XP update? XP bonus content? Yes. Okay, cool. So they did cover all of that stuff. I think there's actually more in the email though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to say. Okay, no, they covered it. They covered pretty much most of it. So we'll go to the blog. We'll go to the blog. So you check your spam. Check your spam. If not, fire a message wherever, and I'll check your email. Make sure it's on it. I will 100% do that.
We both have control.
Oh, hey, what's up, Tiza? What's going on?
Go to her next post. Yeah. I was going to say,
that's an important one. You don't want to miss that one. You don't want to miss that event. But also, congratulations. So there's more in the email, but it's reminding you of what the EXP is. Yeah. Okay, cool.
We know what the XP is, do we?
All right. And hey, Jason, what's going on?
All right.
Yeah, his email didn't show up until yesterday. Who knows? Maybe I'll get mine later on today or something. All right, cool. So let's jump in. Let's jump in now.
Jump in.
Chrome tab.
Oh, so here's one. While you're bringing that up, that relating to the EXP. I don't think it's in this blog thing, but on the Discord, Ryan asked and kind of teased something about like, hey, for the final firmware update, would you guys like would you like a game to be exclusive to the OG handheld, or would you like it to be for all devices?
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't
know what? To be honest, like as a thank you, and maybe even to like drum up collector's market. I don't know. I would kind of like it exclusive to the OG.
That's what I said. I said have it be on the OG cool. to get for like a send off. And I think some of the people are like, yeah, give us an excuse to play the OG handheld.
Yeah, I mean, or you can make it like a time release thing, right? For the first year of this final update, right? It's only going to be on the OG handheld, and then the year anniversary after that, then you just kind of like put it out, right? So the overwhelming answer was no, all device, of course, because everyone wants the game, right?
I get it.
It is fair, but I don't know. I just think it's one of those things where it's like, you give a little something to the people that have been there for you, from the beginning, a little hat tip.
But
even if it's like I said, you just do a time release.
But here's the thing, and then I would be shooting myself in the foot. What if they said it's going to be like Miss Pac-Man? Then I'd be like, yeah, I want that to be on the EXP. So I can
well, no, they wouldn't put anything like that huge on there for sure.
You know what?
It would be something like kind of cool and quirky and like that kind of stuff. Very.
You know what? Because those guys
already, right?
Well, maybe because those guys are such jokers. What they would do is they'd say, "Hey, we're giving you guys this awesome game, but because Ed only wanted it on the OG handheld, sorry." Guys, and then everyone would be like mad at me. Oh my god!
Oh man! So I mean, what kind of? It would have to be like an indie game or something, though, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's like something that's cool. That like who knows? Maybe like that'd be cool if it was like a Blaze original too. They got their stuff in there and like did all that kind of stuff. So that'd be kind of neat. What is going on over there? But that's okay. All right. All right, cool. So let's keep going on. and check out this email here. Okay, so right away, boom, EXP pre-orders open September 6th. So if you haven't gotten in on your limited edition handheld EXP order, it is the 6th of September that you want to set your eyes on all your retailers, your Fun Stocks, your Amazons, your Video Games Plus, all those fine retailers. Set your sights on September 6th, somewhere probably in the mid-afternoon EST, or maybe even morning EST time frame, and then go on to it. So that's pretty exciting that pre-orders are opening on the 6th. They say right here they've been working diligently behind the scenes in development and pre-production. Delighted to say that we are not far from production ramping up in earnest ahead of our release date this winter, which is very exciting. That means they're there, they're close, and they're ready to rock, which is awesome. So they further explain what's going on with updates for the EXP. So we can go through some of this stuff here. They've moved all available resources into the EXP's development, so they're all hands on deck on getting the EXP done and out the door, which is great. They've been working on it so much that obviously VS updates have been a little bit of a slowdown. There haven't been too much in the way of the new updates for the VS, but they say that normal service will be resumed soon, which means they're pretty much finishing up everything they need for EXP. And what I'm imagining is as soon as they start getting those updates for VS, all of those updates probably will be in parity with the EXP since they're so close in functionality. So when new updates roll out, they might actually be rolling out simultaneously. It's like, oh, here's your
that's
update.
What you want to see, though, right?
EXP. Oh, 100%.
That's what you want to see, and that's what I love about Blaze. They know where to focus. It's like, yeah, put the VS on hold and all. You know what I mean? So I think that's great. And then I know Ryan, every post, he's been busy, been swamped with the VS. So
yeah.
Just throw something out there. I think let's just say there's some people who spend more time looking for bugs and looking for flaws in the games and playing the games, and I think that's great. But and there's a bugs chat for that. But I would say, hey, leave Ryan alone. Let him work on the EXP. Let him work on the EXP.
Right?
Don't bug him too much.
Exactly. So also in here, some cool little nuggets there. Progress, however, has been phenomenal on the EXP. Design from the UI redesign, the operation of Tate mode, and final refinements of the design of the console itself. Everything's on course to meet our release window, which, as I said, was originally winter of 2022. Now, interestingly enough, Pete mentioned last week in the Evercast that winter 2022 does kind of mean fourth quarter 2022. So it could be anywhere from I'm imagining, late November all the way through early February, right? It all depends on when winter 2022, what that means to either the distributors or Blaze. So that's something to just keep in mind. So where we obviously would all like EXPs under the tree, we all know that Blaze isn't also necessarily the controllers of the keys in that is as well. But if the machine's ready and the lines are already running, there's a good chance that we'll be able to see that, which would be awesome.
Hey, it's a question for Sean if he's able to answer, because it's kind of happened last year with the VS. Some of us there are the carts that were bundled, and then some of us were gonna order I was gonna get the Intellivision 1 collection at a time, but then it ended up because of chip shortages. I'm just curious with the Irem collection and the Toplin collection, and yes, Crow, if you're watching, I don't care if I'm not pronouncing it right. Are those gonna are those only will you be able to pre-order those separately, or are those can you get the let's make it let me gather my thoughts. Let's say the EXP isn't going to be out until November, December. Are we able to buy the other cards separate earlier, or do we have to wait for the EXP to come out? I guess that's what I wanted. That's what I want to know. Like, which one? Like, Irem is bundled with it, or is it the one that's
Irem is bundled with it.
like? Is that going to be exclusive to the EXP, or can you get that separate, or will everything come out at once? Or
I think you can order them right now outside of the EXP, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
If you go to Funstock right now, I think you can pre-order Irem and Toa Plan separately. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's cool.
That's a good and a bad thing. And here's my dilemma. Like, I want to play the games and get the carts early, but then if I do that, when I get the limited edition with the 2 carts, it won't be as special. Like, that was one awesome thing with the VS, being able to pull out these 6 massive carts. You know what I mean? So it's like, do I wait? Do I get to play it early because I want to and I want to share that experience, or do I want to share the experience of getting it all at once? I don't know yet. You know what I mean? Like, that's a tough one. Like, yeah, I don't necessarily care about the cost of buying the games twice, but it's just more of, do I want to wait? Something for people to think about.
So, and Sean right there is Irem and Toa Plan will separately will also be September 6th for the pre-order. So it was a little jump the gun. I thought they were already out there, but that's not until September 6th. But you know what? September 6th is literally three weeks and 2 days away. So
yeah.
I mean, it's just right around the corner, which is awesome. And they will also release the same day. The same day as the EXP, Sean, because that's cool. It also gives a little, fun speculation. Because like why would you hold up the carts if you knew that the EXP wasn't going to hit your target date?
I'm thinking the pre-orders will open then, and then September, and then we'll get it a month later. That's what I'm thinking, or at least the limited edition. That's what I'm thinking. Because this year we don't have chip. This year they sorted out all the chip shortages and everything. I don't know. That's what I'm predicting.
Yeah. So it says that they'll share the latest with you and the target release date when we give our bonus content announcement, which is somewhere in here.
Isn't that the second?
Yes. So let me go down a little bit to that Evercade EXP bonus content announcement. So on September 2nd, 2022, there'll be a special announcement from Evercade that not only confirm the time that pre-orders open, the release date, but will also unveil the bonus content included for the Evercade EXP, which is pretty awesome. You may also begin to see early previews of the Evercade EXP, Irem, Toa Plan, Tate mode, and the bonus content as we're going to Gamescom 2022 and allowing early access to the prototype Evercade EXP for members of the press, which that makes me wish that somehow Europe was closer to here.
I know, right?
That I could just go over and hang out with everybody.
Oh, totally.
Because I would totally do that.
Right.
So keep your eyes peeled on September 2nd, 2022. Lots of content coming about the Evercade EXP, and that is even closer than then, because we're talking at this point now we're talking like it's 3 Fridays. In 3 Fridays we will know the release date. We'll know what the bonus content is for Evercade EXP. We'll know some more stuff about the exact time when we can get the standard edition EXP handheld pre-ordered from Funstock. That's gonna be awesome. That's really, really cool. But it's not technically over yet, because if we go right up here, remember there's this guy. There's the thing that we're waiting for. I know me and Ed went in on it. I think even Pete and Crow went in on it.
Yeah.
We're all in.
Pete probably ordered 2 of them.
Evercade EXP, he probably did. EXP limited edition, which is awesome looking. There was this little thing here that says the Evercade EXP limited edition demand has been incredible, and as such, demand has very much outstretched supply. However, some people have gotten, they had to have their orders canceled or something didn't work out or whatever. There is now, and has been for a little bit, a waiting list for the Evercade EXP limited edition through Funstock. And on that same day, on September 6th, when the pre-orders open for the standard edition handheld, if you missed out on your chance and you're on the list, you got a shot at getting in there and getting a limited edition again, which is awesome.
So,
very, very cool.
Yeah, I wanted to answer that to Siren. So usually, like for limited editions, like let's say in this case they're going to make 5,000. They'll probably hold back like a couple hundred, because if there's like defects, return, like whatever, like they probably calculated a small percentage, and then on top of that, there's cancellation. So it's still limited. Like 5,000 is all they're ever going to be, but you can be on a waiting list. Like if somebody cancels, maybe they haven't released all, maybe because when you see that percentage of how many is left, maybe they've released like 90% of the stock, so they're still going to be limited. That they did that. I think they briefly did that with the purple or the VS. No, with the VS they did that. Like they had it, for like a limited time, you could jump in there and get a few of them for that same, that same reason.
Yep. Yeah. So, and that's awesome that they're actually, trying to get those back out there, and people have the opportunity to jump in and get it, because some people may have missed the initial announcement and then that pre-order window. So like I always, sometimes when I was in that camp myself in the very beginning for the handheld, and I wound up missing out on the limited original handheld.
Yeah.
So it was always one of those things where it's like, man, I wanted to get in there and get that, but it's okay. I'm glad that people can have the chance to get there and get in on that edition, which is awesome. So
as a tie to this, I want to talk about what I love about the Evercade so much.
Sure.
And it's just it's the mystery, right? Like definitely, like Sean, if you're still on, like you've done an awesome, fantastic job. Like the way that you tease us, the way that you advertise, like you do your job extremely well. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like, like let's say like a device like the Steam Deck comes out. Okay, cool. You know what it is. You can talk about stuff, but the hype isn't there. Like in this case, there's like limited editions, there's new hardware, there's new games, and they don't give it to us all at once. Like for me, like, and that's why I've kind of said like the whole like Evercade universe and just like the anticipation of things and what's coming next. I mean it, buddy. I mean it. Like I almost love that more than the Evercade itself, because for me, Evercade is the one thing the hype has gotten me back into like retro games and all that. Like I love the mystery that surrounds it. So, that's, I don't think a lot of people agree. So with that ties into the extra content. So let's talk about what we do know. So one thing that we do know is that since Sean teased about a game that's going to be on all devices, so we or asked about where and then it kind of seems like it's going to be on all devices. So we know we're going to get some special game that's on all device. We like nothing official, but it's been teased, right? And then I've also like seen like that Ryan has talked about like redesign of the UI, of course, because you would have to for the EXP. So that makes me wonder: is the final update for the OG handheld going to match? Is it going to match the VS? And here's what I'm hoping. Why? Because a big request from a lot of us is that, hey, when you discover a secret on the Evercade VS, have that be an unlock. Like have you just go to a secrets menu where you don't have to put in the code again. You know what I mean? So I wonder if they're waiting for this, so that way when they release at least that one extra cool game, you can go to a menu. Now they said there's exclusives that are going to be just for the EXP. So I wonder, are we just going to get some like official Tate mode games? Or are we going to get something like Wonder? I'm thinking if they did that, we're going to get something like Wonder Swan or something else. So I can speculate what we're not going to get, which is a little bit sad that I found out. I want to say we're probably like I now understand why it's going to be difficult for Evercade to get anything TurboGrafx.
Okay.
Because I saw like for those of you who don't know, search on YouTube. The Game Historian. That is an awesome. That's an awesome channel by Nick. He just did one on the TurboGrafx 16, and NEC and I forget who else, but anyways, Konami acquired. They own the rights. They own the rights to NEC and that other company. So yeah, Konami owns all of it. So yeah, they'd have to get a deal. Get a deal with Konami.
You got to go through there, yeah.
Yeah, and they've been very protective. So but maybe that would be a surprise. Like that would be awesome. But you know what? That's that's okay. As we've talked about before, I like how we get these unusual different games we've never heard of. Like that is just so much. That is so much fun.
So I kind of agree. Yes, 100%. I kind of agree with you though, as far as the bonus content with the EXP. I would say that the bonus content would probably like highlight all of the features or some of the features of the EXP device itself. So, like maybe something else to do with the fact that the device has Wi-Fi enabled, something cool like that. So definitely something that will highlight Tate mode, even if it's just some kind of like interesting, like home developed either mini game or something like that kind of like almost teaches you like, hey, this is like when you put it into Tate mode, this is how this is how you're supposed to hold it. Here's maybe like a cool couple mini games that will help you learn how to like play while holding it that way and give you a reason like, oh, this is why I want to play these vertical scrolling shooters this way, instead of not in Tate mode, something like that. Something to highlight the fact that the feature is there so it doesn't get lost. And it could be again any number of other things. Maybe the ability on the EXP, since it is a portable device, like to have like more customization features as far as like the backgrounds and like that kind of stuff goes, because there is a little bit of memory on here. But do you have to be careful about giving users access to writing files on the device? I mean, I don't know.
I haven't had a problem with the VS. I think that's a great point. I think they were waiting until when did we get like the security? I forget what the release notes or like the secure boot or whatever. They were waiting.
Yeah, it was a couple firmwares ago, right?
Yeah.
And of course, that's gonna translate over through EXP.
Dude, that would be epic. Like
that would be
like a version that was built in. So here,
yeah.
I know. So like, I'll tell you what's my wish list that's unlikely to happen, but it would be kind of a weird dark horse surprise. Like, because let's say, what if they did like renegotiate their license with Namco, and then they're like, we're going to give you like Galaxian or like Pac-Man or like or maybe one of those lesser known, like there's like a Galaxian 3, like maybe there's like one of those like lesser known like titles or something. All I can say is whatever it's going to be awesome. I think you're 100% right. It's going to be something specific. We're going to get something because they teased that, like the VS, there's going to be exclusive games to the EXP. So there's got to be something, like you said, that highlights Tate mode, whether it's a homebrew or a Wonder Swan, something, you know what I mean? Something unique. And then I think across all three devices, everyone will get a game. They've redesigned the UI. Maybe they'll have that secret mode, that secret menu unlocked. And then the only other thing I wish they would add on top of that, like if you put in Galeco 2 and you unlock the prototype with that key combination, because that is a key combination, like that would show up there too. Stuff like stuff like that. And just to highlight on the handheld, so I'll ask you this question. Well, I know you've been I'll ask you this question, anyone else in the audience. So lately, like I love playing on the VS, but I have been jonesing for a better handheld. And it didn't happen until the other day when I played the purple, and I was like, yeah, the monitor is like, I'm like, the monitor is better, but man, I would really like something to even be crisper and clear. And then when that battery died, then I played another game on the white one. And I will say that if you've never played like on the better screens, you don't really notice it. But once you do, when you go back, then it's kind of like, yeah, this isn't as this isn't as good. But it's fine. That was a start. So my point is, I'm waiting now, like for the new EXP. I'm like, oh man, a better screen, bigger resolution. My eyes, like I know I will use that a lot more. Like it's not for me. It's not going to take away from the VS because there's sometimes you just want to sit on the couch when you're hanging out with the family and play, and there's sometimes where you want to do serious gaming. So I don't know if anyone else feels like that, but I'm like super excited.
Oh, well, I'm totally excited myself, just to see what it looks like, right? Just to see what the difference is. Is for even between the purple and now that I have one, between the purple and the others, I can't necessarily tell like an immense difference. But maybe it's just because of where and when I'm playing. But as far as the handheld goes, like I constantly flip back and forth. For example, almost every week before we're about to do a discussion on whatever cartridge we're on, right? So right now we're on Renovation, right? We're gonna wait for the guys to come back to talk a little bit more about those sets of games. But right before we talk about that, I'll slap Renovation on, and I'll be on the couch playing. So the VS is here in the studio, and during the week I just want to hang out with the fam and do whatever. And then after the kids go to bed, sometimes it just like it's like, oh man, do I want to sit in here like in the studio because I'm in like record mode and all that kind of stuff, right? So I just want to just kind of hang out and chill. So I wind up playing on the handheld a lot. But I mean, my experience with the handheld has been from the beginning to now, like, really, like a really positive experience. And it's really cool. I really like it. But at the same time, there are some times where it's time to update, or it's time to, like you want to do some of the other features. Like, oh man, I wish I had my game of the month on the handheld, right? So then you play and test that, and it's like, oh man, well, I mean, obviously you can't do that and all. Hey, Pete, what's going on? What's going on? So, it'll be interesting because as soon as I get the new one in my hands, like, will it just be, like, will just tears just start flowing out of my old handheld? Is that what's going to happen? It's just going to look at me and be like, don't do it. Don't put me in the box.
Yeah, and I think it's like, if you, it depends too. Like, if people who like to game on handhelds, and sometimes I kind of forget that. But it was neat. Like when I got the purple handheld, like I kind of fell in love with Evercade all over again. Like that experience of getting a new device. Mm-hmm, so I think this will happen. I wonder though if the tease could be like, what if they said, oh, and by the way, here's a dock.
Maybe that'd be kind of cool. I mean, do you think that would I guess it would be okay for some people. But I don't know. I like the VS too much. I like the fact that you got the double slot and you got all that kind of stuff. Because it was like, how much of if they do a dock, right? How much would a dock be? $40-$50.
Yeah.
And at that point you're like, all right,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But then but even still, even if it wasn't that, maybe they can't do it. They have to do it at 50. Yeah, but then, at 40 something more, you just get a VS.
But here's what would sell it though. What if they included a dock and they included like wireless controllers? Official wireless controllers, and you could use those controllers for the VS, and they gave you 2 of them and it was like $50.
All right. Well, but if they're putting out wireless controllers, then they better embed that into the VS.
I know.
So I can start syncing back and forth and all that. So
yeah, see, I don't know if it conflicts with their model because like so many other devices have a dock, and then I'm like, well, sometimes there's a part of me where I wouldn't mind. Hey, Ryan, I wouldn't mind being able to dock it and playing it on the big screen, and then taking that same thing and being back on the couch. I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted. Like if they never made a dock, I'm cool with it. If they did make a dock, then maybe I would get it.
Nice. Hey, he's working on the weekend.
Wow.
Like that's
dedication.
That is dedication. Keep it up, man.
Well, so, as we all know, Ryan is Sonic, so he's able to go fast. So that's
he is able to go fast. So, but yeah, I mean, that it could be something like like out of left field, like some kind of like accessory kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, that'd be announced like separately. I'm imagining, right? Because like an accessory isn't content, right?
No. You're right. You're right. That's true.
It's something that's going to be inside, right? It's some kind of software or firmware based goodie. I don't know.
Dude,
what else.
He is. My hat's off to you. He's given all of us, dude, the greatest gift. He's given up his time to work on this. Dude, much appreciated.
He's pushing for a raise.
Yeah. Like hopefully someday, if like all of us at Evercast like get to hang out with you and Sean, like we owe you guys
100%.
We owe you guys.
There's got to be one year when you guys come out to like some kind of retro expo, and whenever you do, you gotta let us know, because whatever expo that is, plane tickets are happening. We gotta hang out. We gotta do like an Evercast roundtable or something like that with you guys. Just hang out, and then just hit the town and just go play some games. It would be awesome. So for sure. So anyway, I mean, it's definitely hype. I'm 100% excited about September. Like other than the fact that like both on the 2nd and the 6th of September, my life is like in ultimate crush mode because it's right before the kids come back on both days. The 2nd is the day after the staff comes back. so I got to run all over the school and like put together stuff for the classrooms. And then the 6th is literally the day before the kids come back, so it's like super go time. But I will be breaking out and going over all the stuff. And on the 2nd, it's a Friday, so you know what happens on the 3rd. It's it's the 4 of us breaking down all of the breaking news for that announcement, which is pretty cool. When does Gamescom start? When does Gamescom start?
But I was going to say, when you do get the EXP, you can take that to work and play it on your lunch.
True. Yeah. No, when I get one in my hand, that thing will just be strapped to me for a while. Runs from August 23rd through the 28th, so there might be some like a preview action going on the 27th. There could be weeks and weeks of episodes. They'll be there from the 24th to the 26th, which is awesome. So yeah, I got to keep my eyes peeled for some news. I'm sure that some of the bigger guys that are out there, the IGNs of the world and the GameSpots and all that kind of stuff, if they wind up finding you guys, there'll probably be pics of the EXP in action that'll show up on a website near us. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for that kind of stuff and start talking about it, which would be awesome. So very cool, very cool. Have I played Anguna Ness yet? No, actually, I did do the update on the VS. I got my update in there and I saw it. And then I had to run, and then again, my week has just been annihilated, so I haven't gotten the chance to play it yet. But I am excited about it. I watched everybody play. I guess it was Crow that played on the Evercast last week. I did watch that. That was pretty cool.
So something I want to ask you or ask everyone else, what's like for next year? Pretty much all the cards are determined. What would be like your most anticipated card for that's realistic, right? Like obviously not going to say what would be and with that, and I know it's something that I feel like I need to bring up a lot just because I see a lot of talk about this, and it's fun for people to post their dream collections, and I think I'll continually beat this drum that like I love that like the Evercade we get the different titles. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, yes, if you want to play all the Street Fighters or something like Capcom Museum exists, right? Mm-hmm. So like if we're going to get something mainstream, I want it to be something like old school, like something like something more realistic. So what I think is realistic for next year, especially since there've been negotiations, would be to get like the 2600 Activision collection, right? We haven't, they haven't said that the door has been closed on that. Just kind of like, like how the Ataris and like the Namco did put Evercade. I feel like with the video game preservation and the history, like that needs to be there.
Yeah.
Like
well, I mean, and it might be a motivating factor too, because, as far as a monetary or business decision goes, not saying that they're like going to shut their doors or anything, but, Activision didn't post positive numbers in the last couple quarters. In fact, they took a huge hit. So, it could be that new management walking in might look at those scenarios and say, well, maybe licensing deals might be something we want to revisit because we got to get revenue in the door.
Yeah,
so you never know. You absolutely never know. I mean,
it's Activision. What's the other publisher that goes with that? Like that makes Dragonfire? I can never forget. What's the other publisher? No, iMagic. Yeah, iMagic. Yes, that's so that would even be better.
iMagic is actually iMagic is how it's pronounced.
Yes, like if we could get the Activision / that, then we could get those few other really good titles like Dragonfire on there, and then that would be
that would be cool. I mean, as Pete said last week, it's a holy grail collection, right?
It is
for retro people. As far as those kind of things concerned, we've got a ton of that second generation stuff in Atari collection and in television collection. It would be amazing to kind of have like what many consider the premier games on there. I'm still thinking like I don't know how you would go through the weeds to get it. You would have to, I guess, go directly to Stern to get it, but I'd love to see like Berserk on there. Of course, like going back to that second generation stuff. There's a list of the games that I still want to see, and it's Berserk, it's the Taito Space Invaders for 2600, because
Yeah.
people don't really play that game, but it's such a great port. But it just doesn't get ported anywhere because you have to go through 2 different entities to get it on a console. So, I know it's a lot of legwork, but just for one game. So,
Dude, that would be.
I understand, but that would be kind of cool. But the newer stuff too, it's like the more I think about it, and I've been thinking about this a lot, especially this week, is I just really want the next couple cart announcements that have anything to do with the consoles to just continue to be those obscure things that you either forgot that existed, they were on the game store shelf and you were like, oh, that'd be cool, I could check that out one day, and you just never do. Like I want those games still to come out through Blaze and the Evercade, because it's like it in my analog, it is, these cartridges are those shelves, right? Just being brought to you, not just a game, because they're collections, right? They're just bringing, here's that whole shelf of those games that you just never played. Go ahead and play them. Or if you knew what they were or had them as a kid, well, now you get to, to play some again. That's what I love. Again, that's the drum I keep beating, is just give me more stuff that I never had before, and I will just keep playing because it's so awesome. And now you guys were talking about it again last week. We're starting to feel like we're almost getting buried with these titles, which is awesome. It's awesome to have now a back catalog of games that we can check out while playing, everything new, while we're looking for the new collection. Because there's so many games that I want to go back now and finish, and start doing like that Sir Topham Hatt thing, right? Where you're going through and just pulling random collections and just beating games. Hat tip again to Sir Topham Hatt on Twitter. He's, what is he up to? Is he up to 150 plus completions right now?
Dude, look what Ryan just said.
But 21 hours into Cathedral on the EXP. Yeah. See, I mean, it's games like that, right?
Exactly.
These spotlight games that come out and have had a good run, maybe on Steam, maybe on a console or two. In fact, I was actually listening to I was listening to a VGM podcast called XVGM Radio, which is a great podcast. You guys like video game music, you gotta definitely check that out. They just recently did an interview with an independent video game composer, right? And they just so happened to mention this game. It's called like Ghoul Boy or something like that. And it's kind of like an indie homage to like a Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts kind of thing. But the soundtrack was really awesome. But if it wasn't for the fact that I listened to this random podcast that talks about video game music, I would have never known the game existed, right? Why? Because it's buried in the Steam infrastructure and in the Switch store, right? It has tens of thousands of games that you're never going to find out about. And it's like, wow, you know what? It's games like that I was like, wow, if we can get some more of those kind of things over to this ecosystem, again, we've got another small curated collection of games that can be brought out, and then all sorts of cool things can happen. The game seemed really cool. The soundtrack was rocking, and and it certainly would run on the Evercade. So, dude,
that'd be awesome. But what Ryan said here, so 50 plus hours. See, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm still like dug into Cathedral and all that, then I may not care about pre-ordering the next 2 carts if I'm still sucked into. That's fantastic, because I've been looking for an indie. And see, I'd rather have that than the popular things. But I think too, like an Activision collection also falls in the category of classic games, but that are difficult to play.
Right.
Meaning that, like if you want to do it on original hardware, you'd have to, source like a 2600, 7800. You probably have to HDMI. You know what I mean? Like it's, and then you want to use a real controller. You know what I mean? Like it's difficult.
Or even if you wanted to do, say, like, all right, so say you have the Activision collection, right? And then people can go, oh, well, you can just go ahead and get yourself a Retron 77, right? But have you tried to put an Activision cartridge inside of a Retron 77?
Yeah.
They'll pop out. Like half of them you have to like fight to get it in. So you've got to like go and get like one of these, which is like a so this guy like literally prints this cartridge adapter for the Retron, so you can put your Activision cartridges on this adapter and then put it into the thing. So you have to like buy extra things in order to play Activision games on a modern scenario. Like, it's kind of weird, right? So
Exactly, dude. Or I have like that on my GBA. I have that Activision collection, but the problem though is that like I can't play that on a TV. You know, it's I'll well, it's still playable. It's just like the original GB. You know, the SP screen backlit. It's not as great. So I would love to see that like on a beautiful EXP screen. Have the option to play it back and forth. And then I think too that's another thing that would also get that group of people. You know, I think we'd get more people of our generation of gamers saying, "Hey, check it out! They brought the Activision collection, and while you're at it, here's a bunch of other cards." I think it would also open the doors. You know what I mean? Like it's not something mainstream, but I think it's and not only that, I do love these new titles. I love like my go-to games. Like if you want to just pop in, kind of play that casual game for a few minutes, you know what I mean? Like those arcade type games. Like it would be awesome. It just needs to be there.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. So it would be kind of cool. And I don't know if there's like additional licenses involved or whatever, because now that we have like the micro PC kind of thing coming out, what if there was like a cool collection that was maybe not necessarily tied directly to a machine, but like one of the bigger like publishers of the day, something like Broderbrand or like that kind of stuff. That'd be kind of cool because they haven't been around for a while. They still exist, but they do like they just put out Mavis Beacon titles or whatever. But how cool would it be to like get a Broderbrand collection, get like all like the Carmen Sandiego games or something like that?
That'd be fun,
right? Definitely cool stuff. Dave Lister says, couldn't find an email anywhere, but I checked with Blaze my EXP order definitely, and so I'm happy with that. Yeah. I don't know exactly what's going on with the whole email thing, but as Dave, if you weren't here in the beginning, Sean said to just go back to the website and make sure you put yourself back on the list, or just email support and then they'll double check it, which is kind of cool. What's going on, Fastback? What's up? How's it going?
But Rich, you did bring up with the computer collection, like that excites me. Like once I get my hands on the C64 and I can confirm that the controllers are legit, then I'll be like, okay, then you know what I mean. Then I'm pretty sure they're going to be, since it was designed for it. But then I'll be like, okay, that'll ease a lot. And then next year that opens the door. And then I hope next year we just see arcade. We just see like arcade, indie, and computers.
Yeah.
With the exception of like Activision collection if they get it. But
there's always there's always going to be a back pocket, thing. And I actually started doing research on it because I got so excited when Sega started announcing the stuff for the Genesis Mini 2, and all those Game Arts games started showing up on the list. Now in the US, there's a strong likelihood that it's not going to happen. But I've actually been doing some like personal digging, so it might be like Rich's adventure to go find Victor Ireland and find out what's going on with all that kind of stuff, because it's man, I would just please give me all those Working Designs games, like
I know you've been beating that drum for a long time.
It would run everything up till PS2, so like let's rock, let's just do it. Well, except for I don't think the Saturn games wouldn't work, but all the PS1 games, all the Sega Saturn, all the Sega Genesis and Sega CD games, yeah, that'd be fantastic stuff. But yeah, I mean, and ZX Spectrum, it's hard to track down who owns the license for the games. That's true, but the Spectrum community is actually like really huge still. So there's actually a lot of people that might know and or are part of the community that own some of those licenses. That would be like a huge thing. So you never know about that kind of stuff.
Well, not only that, there's a ton of homebrew out there for Spectrum, for C64 and Mega. Like that's one thing I would love to see too with the next collections. Like I don't even care if they're like ROMs you can download for free. Like put them on there, make them more accessible, make it plug and play, and then give the maybe the publishers the devs of that get a little bit out of it. Like put homebrew on there, put some other weird aftermarket ones.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool for sure.
Like do like a mix and all that. And yeah, I know some people have said that you can just get like the C64 Mini, but for me, like I don't want to fart around with all that stuff. I just want a curated collection of 14 games, have my discovery be, they're that way. And then just mess around with it, have the nostalgia of it. How wild is that? All the computer games like on a cart.
Yeah,
it's just as crazy as like an arcade, like arcade games just on a cart like that. Officially, like that's never happened before.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, so BBC Acorn Electron games would be great. That'd be kind of cool. Again, like another one of those things where, that's discovery for me, right? Because I've never experienced any of those games that were over there. It's super exciting for me to do, to know that it might be a possibility later on down the road, because they are doing a mini computer collection series, that it's not going to stop at C64. So again, speculation is very high that Amiga is next, which again would bring some of those heavy titles from the UK, which would be really, really, really cool.
Yeah, because the company that they partnered with, they have the licenses for both the 64 and the Amiga. So I think whatever they have licenses for, I can almost guarantee we're going to see games for those systems, because that's the reason they partnered with them, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jason, if they could work out a deal with the big N, that'd be awesome.
Game and Watch,
Game and Watch series. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd play all those. I actually own 2 now. I got my hands on 2 of the older ones. I have was it Oil Panic and Mario Brothers now, and the Game and Watch, and then I have the 2 new ones, because when they came out, I wasn't too big on the Super Mario one, because it's like, okay, it's Mario Brothers. When the Zelda one came out, I was like, all right, no, that has to happen.
Funny that you mentioned that. I think this says a lot. So as much of a big Zelda fan that I am, like I haven't bought like the Zelda Game and Watch kind of for that reason, because I have like so many ways to play all those games. Like, do I really need it like on another portable device?
Yeah, I bought it because I want to put it in my office.
Yeah. And
so it's like, that's it.
And see, and that's what I mean. Like, that's more of like a showpiece. Like, that's how I kind of feel about like the mini consoles. Like, they are like more of like showpieces. And I think they're cool. But that's what's nice about like the Evercade is you have different cartridges. So like every time something comes out, you don't have to keep buying a new, like mini console. You have it. And so for me, that's
true.
That's what gets me excited, because at some point you got to think about space and room, and if you have like 10 different mini consoles, and all.
Yeah.
And all that.
Anthony P is hurting my heart. Summer games and winter games are awful. I grew up with those. But
yeah, just to reiterate, I like it's kind of funny, and so this is why, like, not money wise, but feature wise, I say that like Blaze is like the Apple products of like retro games. And what I mean by that is they're just going to give you, and they're going to throw stuff at you that you didn't know that you needed or wanted, but they're making those decisions for you when you have it. Like, you're very happy, like, but the cost, but not the cost. Like, the cost is like of I don't know, like Android. I don't know. I can't think of another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like Apple service aesthetic with
the indie cost.
With like an independent, like true independent side.
Because I think you get to a point in your life where you've played a lot of different games, and you're like, why right now am I not like playing Super Mario Brothers 3? I can emulate it somewhere. And it's because, while you still appreciate it, you've played it enough and you don't care to really go through that. But when you hear about these things that, like, you've never played before, or maybe you've played in the arcade, like, it's very exciting. And I just want people to realize that, like, that's what's different about Evercade. If you want to be able to play those like Nintendo Switch exists for a reason, right?
Right.
But like the Evercade, I feel like it's sacred, and it's a total different economy. And I think it works out very well in Blaze's favor that they're able to get these different licenses, and that, they're not able to get like a mainstream license, because quite frankly, like, we don't want that, and those companies are going to ask for too much.
Right. So that's interesting.
That's my soapbox.
That's all good. Yeah, Snake, you're saying I accidentally ordered the Russian model of the Zelda Game & Watch. I was like, oh, what's that? What is that? It's like was it in like a different like whole thing, or did it come in different packaging? Did it come in like were the ROMs different?
No, what I was gonna say is you get that and it says like it says like Yelda, and like you open it up and it's like a different like ROM hack of I don't know, some like weird like Russian ROM. No, that'd be funny.
Oh, you can change the language. That's kind of cool. That's neat. I didn't even know that they put it out in different territories. I thought there was just one model. And they're just like, here you go. It's kind of neat. Would a ColecoVision collection be worth it? I have no experience with that console. So for me, the problem with I would love ColecoVision games on there, but the problem is almost all of them are dually licensed, right? So Coleco went out to another third party to license a game for their console. There isn't necessarily a like a Coleco, or very few like Coleco original games. So like most of their games are all, like one-offs. It's Donkey Kong and the Zaxxon and Space Fury and that kind of stuff. So they're all developed by Sega and Namco and all those others. So it'd be kind of hard to get the licenses for them. But some of the independent there were some like independent studios that were developing for Atari, Intellivision, and ColecoVision at the time. So the ColecoVision version of some of those independent titles in a collection might be nice, because it'd be
homebrew.
In a lot of opinions, they'd be like the superior version because the ColecoVision's hardware was a little bit better than the others. Than the Intellivision.
I would be happy just like with a Coleco, to your point, just a Coleco homebrew collection.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
It would be like the Indie Heroes version of that. Like we could still technically get those systems, and then maybe that would open the door. And I think that would even be better, right? Because then you get these games that like you just don't know to play, and it seems like from the chat buzzing like like Tanzer, yes.
Tanzer was cool. And it was another game that was kind of like out of nowhere for me. Now I know a lot of people knew about Tanzer beforehand, but I didn't. So like it was one of those things where it's like, oh sweet, this game's pretty cool, and then you start playing it, you're like, wow, this game is really, it's something else. That's awesome. And I would have never known. And even still, like some of the more popular stuff that's coming on Toaplan, some of those shooters, a lot of people know them very, very well, and I've never played more than half of those games. So I'm super excited about stuff.
Dude, so that's a great example of games that we haven't played, like something like R-Type, right? Like I'm so happy we actually get the arcade version of that, because I remember playing that in the arcade, playing like the TurboGrafx version, which is very close. But now I feel like we get something special, and it's one of those tough as nails shooters that like I think Pete said like, yeah, it would save states, I might be able to actually beat it now. Yeah, which is true, because 3 lives and you're done. But then you're gonna have to decide how you want to play the game, if you want to go that route or use saves. Well, but, I'm really looking forward to that one too. That's what, like, depending how I feel, if I did have to pre-order, like if I had to get an extra copy of one collection, it might be the IRIM just for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it'll be interesting to see how the arcade version feels versus my memory and nostalgia, because R-Type to me is a Master System game, because that's where I played it. I played it originally on Master System because it was one of the set that that my buddy had when we did the trade. So I played the wheels off of that game. But yeah, I mean, it's like tough as nails. And the day I completed it, it was after playing it almost every day for 3 months.
Yeah.
Like you have to just like memorize all those patterns. And yeah, it is a slower game than most of the shooters that like it's not as frenetic as some of the bullet hell shooters that but it's kind of cool because it teaches you like all of those things to make you better at those side-scrolling shooters if you wanted to get into them. But after I got to tell you, I got to be honest, as soon as I finished R-Type, I put it back in the box and I put it on the shelf, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm done.
I don't blame you.
I was like, I'm go back to my RPGs. I'm out. See ya.
Yeah, Plus, don't forget how fun is it to say R type. Sorry.
R, yeah, R.
How
Nice.
fun is it? But yeah, no, I hear you on that. And so maybe with these updates, I'm hoping maybe we might actually get like a like leaderboard, Wi-Fi enabled. Like really all Blaze needs to do is have some type of leaderboard, and then competition mode, change it for arcade games that you only get 1 credit. And then I think I think we're good.
Yep. So Julian D says we're getting Total Plan 2, but not IRAM 2. My direct response is never say never. Because just because they didn't announce it doesn't mean it's not happening somewhere.
Yeah.
They might just not have a deal lined up. But as far as IRAM goes, it's like I know there's tons of IRAM games that they could be getting, but again, it's all licensing and deal work, right? Like maybe the 6 games that they got for the IRAM collection right now were easy because IRAM owns all of that stuff. But you don't know if later on down the line, IRAM let go of a couple other licenses here and there to other companies, and then in order to get them on another collection, you've got to do double deals and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I do not envy Mr. Byatt and his deal workings, because it must be a sea of paperwork. It really must be a sea of paperwork over there.
Dude, think about it. That's
but
what
I
I'm
applaud
going to
his
say.
work because he's getting the stuff done, which is awesome.
Yeah, I don't envy them either, because there's games that you really want to have, and then there's games that you look at, like, I wouldn't be surprised, like the deals where it says, hey, if we sell X amount of units, there will be a second collection. Because if, let's say there's one, well, we may really like it. If there's not a second, if it doesn't sell enough, I don't blame them for not doing another collection of it, because they got to go where the, they got to go where the money is, of course. And at the same time, they have to put out stuff that's interesting. So yeah, to your point, it's such a delicate balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or just imagine like what they said, like the Activision deal, like, that was almost there. It's like, oh, and then I appreciate that they shared that with us on Discord, so it's just like, yeah, knowing all that stuff behind the scenes. Yeah. I don't envy that job at all.
That's true. That's absolutely true. But yeah, I mean, and Vintage Office is right. I mean, it is IRAM Arcade 1, not just IRAM Arcade. There's only been one collection that hasn't had
the Dizzy collection, right?
A number, and that's the Oliver Twins. Yeah.
Yeah, Oliver Twins.
That was named collection. Now, obviously, Xenocrisis Tanglewood is just Xenocrisis Tanglewood.
Yes,
just much like Cathedral. Alma's Awakening is just going to be Alma's Awakening Cathedral. So yeah. So I mean, again, you never know. Total Plan 2 with Batsugan would be an absolute dream. That would be kind of cool. And yeah, you're right. I mean, I think the Evercade, I think some of the things that are stopping some of these other games from coming out is that split that's going to wind up happening when production for the original handheld and the tilt into VS EXP land happens. I think you're going to wind up finding some games that are going to wind up coming out that, although the cartridge will be able to fit inside of an original Evercade, they're just from capability's sake alone of the two newer devices, you'll wind up finding out that yes, you can put the other cartridge into an original Evercade and play most of the games, but there probably wind up being a time where some of them won't work on the OG. But that's just me.
And yeah, and I'm fine. I think what's going to have to happen, because Blaze does an awesome job. So I think people forget that they fix issues that were still like bugs in the original ROM, but because there's such a big outcry and the community wants it, even though technically Blaze doesn't have to fix it, they do. So I think it's going to depend, right? If it's a collection that not many people are into and there's just a few whiners out there, yeah, of course it's not going to be. But if it's like something big and they're like, you know what, we want our fans to have it, people should have it, I think they will make it. But it's got to be on a per case basis to do, for fixes, because it's kind of like and I'm still kind of a firm believer that if you really do love Evercade, and at some point you're going to have to get a VS, or you're going to have to get the new handheld.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 100%. Like it's, things evolve, just like Nintendo came out with a bazillion DSs, and it's not like you have to buy like $1,000 device or something like totally like, insane. Like they're priced pretty right. So it's just, it just kind of depends what you want to get out, what you want to get out of it. I'm sure there'll be people who complain, but yeah, you know what I mean? So I think Blaze will take it on a per case basis. I think they said that they still will do fixes for the original handheld, just like no new UI updates and all that. Which I think the fixes will be pretty easy because that they have to do those fixes anyways. To get the game to work, it probably won't take much time. But we'll see. We'll see. I can't wait to revisit it when the EXP comes out. Like, have you played the original handheld? Like that'll be a fun videos to do. Or are they just going to be showpieces? Who knows?
Right. That's awesome. So, before we wrap things up, do we have any final thoughts, final things you want to plug, anything like that?
Plug, yes. I just want to say that, of course, looking forward to the rest of the year is very exciting in the world of like Evercade and everything. So stuff to plug. So yeah, recently I did my Jellico collection, kind of my first impressions, thoughts, blah blah. This next week's is going to be Galeco. That's coming out. And then because I had a little more time, I actually recorded my next video, which I took from the Gremlin collection all the way up to the arcade carts, and I went ahead and I ranked them because I was going to, and it's kind of funny. I even address like, to me, like even though the arcade is a separate line, to me it's all part of the ecosystem, and it's what's come out and it's what's playing. So I'm going to rate them, and so yeah, that was kind of a fun. And I might start doing that, do more rankings, especially since Crow has done the legwork and he's already gone back and made a lot of those like scanned in a lot of the carts and did that for he didn't do that for the latest one, so I had to make my own. So yeah, that, and again, YouTube shorts are fun, spread the word and this, and then don't forget me and Rich's second channel, calling out retro gamers.
Yeah,
that does bleed into overlap because we actually do end up talking about Evercade.
We do. It just follows us around this whole thing.
We can't escape it. Sometimes we have to stop ourselves, but we're saving that for Evercast. So yeah, please go ahead and check us out. Subscribe to that channel, help that out. We do different things that are like non-related to Evercade, but it relates into it. Like just the day we played Magic the Gathering Arena, which was like a lot of fun.
It was cool.
And I know
this guy's really good.
Yeah. So I'll just those chances are, if you like to go to the Evercade Discord channel and just talk about a lot of different like retro and video game, our calling retro gamers is kind of like that. Like we talk about a lot of things like related to that. So
yeah, come on over and hang out. That'll be pretty cool.
YouTube Shorts is great. Been having fun and doing some of my channel. The weirder, different ones will go on Karg.
Nice, very cool, very cool. So, and over here on the bacon ice cream side of things, of course, tune in next week for next week's Evercast. Don't forget, again, on the 20th, you don't want to miss this one. Be in the chat because a member of that chat will be selected to be the winner of the 900 sub thank you giveaway, which is awesome. All you got to do is be here. Just be in the chat, and you can be the one, which will be pretty cool. And the prizes will be pretty unique, and maybe even a little self-serving, so you can come on back for the next one. But it'll still be pretty cool. And as far as other things going on the channel, like I said and hinted out before, I think I am going to do that. Go ahead and do that whole console takeover. What console will it be? You just have to keep your eyes peeled on it. Some people in the other retro world might know exactly where I'm going with this, but it'll be fun anyway, and we can talk about that as the week goes on. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will catch you next time for the Evercast. See you guys.
Bye.